Good morning, my magical friends. Welcome back to another babbling episode of this podcast. I really just wanted to hop on here while I could because I completely forgot in my last episode of whatever I was trying to convey that, oh my gosh, we have a blood moon coming up, a lunar eclipse to end August. We are in Virgo season. We have Virgo energy, Capricorn energy coming through that like earth sign. Oh gosh, because I think the moon is in Capricorn right now, and then we're gonna go into some Aquarius vibes. Think, fuck, I need some less crazy. Definitely something less crazy. I don't know about everybody else. We talked about how crazy August has been. I mean, you can even hear my fur babies are going crazy right now over God's know what. Uh, oh, an empty roll of tape. That's what they're grumpy about to each other. That's awesome. Everyone's going crazy. But I really wanted to hop on here and tell people and tell you that you have so much to be proud of. You know, this whole eclipse, I have personally been going through like this like self-reflection, and my husband and I have been having it out consistently, only because this energy is revealing stuff from within, right, that we need to fix. Essentially, we need to get on our shit. As a dear old friend from way back in the day used to say, get your life. She used to say all the time to me, getyourlife.com, when I was acting a fool. I was talking to one of my best friends yesterday, and I just kept thanking her and telling her how grateful I was for like picking up my phone call, because I was like, I need to talk to somebody with a brain. And you talk to someone with a brain. My husband was driving me crazy. My kids were driving me crazy, and I was like, I need somebody with a vocabulary over two. like, and bless her heart, she was such a doll and just sat and listened to me and then gave me advice, because I love her for that. I have two friends that one sun sign is in Pisces, and she has an Aries stellium, and then I have the friend I talked to yesterday. She is a Cancer sun, and she is literally all water, like Pisces and Cancer. So it's such a good balance. And I was telling them, not together but separate, about how I'm trying to get on my shit, and it's so hard because when it pops up, I'm not ready for it. I'm ready to like be on like somebody else's shit because I don't want to realize mine. And I was grateful that they had the courage and capacity to like pretty much be honest with me and tell me when I needed to, fix my shit. Uh Speaking of, one of them is texting me at the moment, and I keep like looking up at the notifications. So side note, she has gotten me into this show on HBO, and I cannot believe I have not seen the show yet until she mentioned it. I have binged to season 2 and 3 of this show in like 3 days, because it just gets so good. The first season, a little boring, but it's based off of the time period where I just am so fascinated about, of like the Vanderbilts and all of the Rockefellers and all these families from back in the day. And I am obsessed. I'm so obsessed with this show at the moment. It's called The Gilded Age, and I love the cast. My girl Christine Baranski is in it, and if anybody has seen The Grinch or Mamma Mia, they know who I'm talking about. She's just fabulous, and it's got a great cast. But yeah, she's pretty much that's what that noise is. She's texting me at the moment. Awesome. You didn't know that, but or need to know that. But anyway, I really just wanted to convey this eclipse is making a lot of us feel like we are worthless. And that tends to happen a lot when we're healing a lot of our past trauma, when we're letting go of a lot of our past trauma, and when we are trying to upgrade our lives and level up. A lot of people talk about shadow work, and that's essentially what our entire lives are doing, is shadow work. See, we often forget that it's a balance. We're not always light. We're a mixture of light and dark. And shadow work is not overnight. I often forget this too, because I'll go through something and I'll be like, and fight it and fight it and fight it until I finally am like, I have to feel this and I have to process this. I also found out with shadow work, ironically enough, I am doing a course to work with the dark goddesses, and finding out that that's literally who I've been working with, like, the mass majority of my life. You often hear me talking about Lilith and Hecate and Persephone. You hear me talking about like Medusa and, Amphitrite. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Uh, Anywho, one of the things these goddesses work with on a consistent basis is our shadow work. Ah, isn't that interesting how that works out? I read this paragraph, y'all, in one of these courses, and I was like, hmm. And the only reason I make that face is because right before I started this course, I remember telling one of my friends, and I was like, I don't understand. I don't want to transition anymore. I don't want to transform anymore. I don't want to level up anymore. And I get that's a part of life, and I get that's how we grow spiritually, and this, that, and the other. It's like, can I get a break? I just want a break. And then I read this paragraph in one of these courses, or in this course, where it was talking about how when you specifically work with Hecate, when you specifically work with Persephone, Lilith, these dark goddesses and their dark energy, it doesn't mean like black magic. Okay. Dark feminine energy is more of confidence and power. It's okay, baby. He's just fixing his boo-boo. Yeah, he's just being nice to his brother. That's all. Yeah, they're not fighting. It's okay. My sweet little Pisces son. She's just, man, she's so caring. She's so kind. She has such a good heart. But when you work with these goddesses, one of the main things that they do when like actually start working with them is they bring your shadow side to the forefront. And on top of that, last year, I don't know if anybody remembers me talking about that, where I started to dive into chaos magic. So chaos magic has been such a fascinating endeavor for me, only because it really, really works well with my Scorpio stellium. All that water, and the way I like to describe it is storm magic. Like, I like to wield storms. I love storms. I would live in a place that had a rainstorm almost every day if I could. Almost moved to Oregon for this reason, but that is pretty much what chaos magic is doing, is taking that storm from within, from your shadow side, from this like dark feminine energy, and using that force of nature to create. And it is such a fascinating, interesting way to use magic, because I don't want to say it's abnormal. It's just not necessarily popular. It's very powerful, and it's very it's very, very intense, because it not only is projecting outward, it's also projecting inward, because you really have to focus on the shadow side of yourself, accept it, respect it, and release it. Very interesting. It is a very interesting way of magic, and I'm really enjoying it. But for anyone that's going through something this month, I just really wanted to convey that you are doing the damn thing. You are doing a great job, and you have so much to be proud of. You have a lot going for you, a lot more going for you than society will let you believe. You have a lot more going for you than, gosh, pulling out the millennium vocabulary, haters are telling you. And, you're doing a great job. And that essentially is what I'm finding throughout this eclipse season and August, is that even though we are going through all this crap, there are still things to find in ourselves to be proud for and proud of. Gosh, I need more coffee. Anybody else feel like that? They can't speak until they have their first cup of coffee. I am trying to help my husband go through this. He is like level 1 of going through shadow work and projecting magic and whatnot. That's another podcast for another day. And I'm realizing that a lot of stuff that we have, we don't really fight until like shit like this happens. We're one of those couples that just like we talk about things. Anyhow, so like one of the main points in our arguments, I am realizing, is a lot of projection from his shadow side. And the only reason I'm sharing that is because I'm sure you're going through similar aspects where you have people in your life that you're like, okay, 90% of the time you're fucking amazing. And what is this? Why are you doing this? But it's the projections. When they're telling you if they're telling you how they feel, that's one thing. But when somebody is telling you about yourself in a manner, I'm trying to put this like how to construct this. When they're telling you how to be yourself and to like change yourself, that's real, or like what they find annoying with you. If you hurt their feelings and they're trying to express that you hurt their feelings, let's set that aside. It's more so when they're trying to change you and they're telling you what they don't like about you. It's in a manner of like they want you to change. That is coming from within. That is coming from their shadow side and their projection of their selves. I dated this person, and one of the arguments he used to tell me was he could not stand how I smelled. My ass showered. Well, I have a toddler now, so that's a whole different story. But back in the day, man, I showered every day. Showered every day. And and it even got worse because this was before I realized that it was a projection. I remember telling one of my best friends, and I was like, dude, I don't understand this, man. I take showers, and now I'm like constantly like piling on things to smell better. And he's like, hey, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It is all about how he perceives himself. And he was the one to really explain to me that it was a projection of what this person didn't like about himself. He constantly told me he didn't like how heavy I was. Well, normally I'd be like, go fuck yourself. But, at the time I was like, oh God, I gotta work out. I gotta stop eating so much, this, that, and the other. And my friend was like, no, again, it's a projection. He has projections about himself. And because he's not ready to deal with that, right? Does it make sense? Hope it makes sense. Anywho, we do it too. When you find something in another person, and if it's not them hurting your feelings, it's something you're like, oh, I can't stand that this person does this, or gosh, it annoys me this. It's usually a reflection of like what we haven't dealt with in our own selves. And it sounds really weird and it sounds hard, but keep up with me. I realized a lot of the stuff that I felt for my narcissistic abuser, I found I ended up learning through them, and I was doing it myself. Yeah, that's a hard bullet to swallow. And when I realized that I was projecting the narcissistic tendencies that I grew up with and learned and was treating others with this, so anywho, so remember, take time, be patient with yourself, and let this lunar eclipse guide you. Don't fight it. I'm gonna try not to fight it. I talk about my astrology chart all the time. I have a Capricorn stellium and a Scorpio stellium. It's very interesting, and every reading I get from like astrologers in the past are like, oh, they get to like that part, they're always like, oh my god. So it's a lot easier said than done. But be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. And remember, like, we're all going through it. We're all going through it. So don't take anything to heart, really. It's like really like retrograde vibes, right? Like, we got this, y'all. We got 2 weeks. We can do it. We can do it. But in other good news, I don't know if any of you are Harry Potter fans, but we're almost back to Hogwarts. But before I leave, because my toddler is looking at me like, okay, you said you were going to go on this call for like 2 minutes. I wanted to pull from my Hecate cards because working with the Dark Goddesses and it being a lunar eclipse, being like a time to work with them, highly recommend. Highly recommend. Let's see what we're going to start the week off with. Oh, lovely. Death. Oh my god, y'all, I can't make this up. Okay. This is actually a really good card. I do like the death card, I can't lie. But if you notice, like, the skull is surrounded by flowers, right? And it's kind of that mix of like life and death, rebirth, that whole process, right? You are saying goodbye to the shit inside you need to let go of. This is the only part of Eclipse that's not like retrograde to me, where it's like, this stuff you just need to let go of. And I'm speaking to myself too. Let go of your past, right? Let go of all of the trauma that you are creating for yourself. Like, I'm not talking about like trauma you're creating, but the trauma you're giving to yourself. Stop running yourself into the ground. Because once you let that side of you go, something beautiful is going to bloom in its place. And I also like this card because one of my favorite flowers is the lotus flower. And I always tell a lot of clients and a lot of people, you are a lotus flower. It takes a long time to go through the muck and the mud and the bogs to get to the sun, and that flower blooms. Choices. You have choices to make. You have paths to choose. You have other options. Yes, it might feel like you're stuck right now, but that doesn't mean you will always be stuck. Just pick a path. We just have to pick a path and see where it goes. Because at the end of it is abundance. And this also represents, this is a good time to look at abundance of what you have in your life. Take a look around you. Abundance isn't always money, and this is something I learned the hard way. Abundance is food in your fridge. It's the love in your home. It's the friends on your, in your connection, in your circle. It's the sun, the rain. It's whatever you attest abundance to, be grateful for it. Because at the end of this death and rebirth cycle, at the end of this path, these choices you make, there is abundance to be found. There is abundance all around us. And with that, I leave you. I hope your coffee's warm. To the moms out there, I hope your coffee's minimally microwave. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.